you guys doing? Tinty57 here, and we're back on the road after the patch. And let me just show you what we're doing first. I've picked up some tasks or jobs in Munich. We're in Munich at the moment, as you can see. And we're having a run up to Stuttgart today. One of my drivers is already there in Stuttgart, but I've given him something to do, so he'll be on his way anytime. So that's what we're doing. We're going to Brutto Pet Shop and Brutto. So let's get everything set up ready. Times it's 6:13 in the morning. We will have some lights, I think. Let's get the tachograph all ready to go. 8 hours 45 until we need to sleep, so we're pretty good. Push my seat back. That's my personal choices, you know, just to sit back slightly, get a better view. Let's get underway. Right, so we've got everything picked up. It's just under 200 kilometers to Stuttgart, so let's make our way out of Munich. Pretty dark there near the depot. You can see the light here on the buildings as we're coming out into the street level. So I might not need those lights on actually. I'll just knock those down for now. We'll see how we get on. Yeah, it's just dark in that corner. So if you saw my last video, which came out just after the patch last week, that was just a first look at what... Oh, hang on a minute. We've been attacked by a coach. You saw my video there. That was a first reaction to what I immediately saw graphically improved in that patch. I've calmed down a little bit now, you'll be pleased to know. I was a bit excited because it looked really, really good. But things have settled down now, so I still wasn't able to get the patch notes, unfortunately, from Aerosoft. I did reach out to them over the weekend and asked them if they'd be good enough to send those to me. I've not had a response yet, so I'm hoping they'll send those through. Then we can have a detailed look at what is in the patch. But I know from a lot of the commentary to that last video that certainly one thing that isn't in the patch is the wheel support, which I know many of you were looking forward to. That doesn't seem to be included. As you know, I don't use a wheel, so it isn't affecting me directly, but I know a lot of you guys were waiting for that, which is a shame. There must be some reason for that, which we'll try and find out about. But it is still looking good. Look at that tower there, the Munich tower. It's before now that would have been flashing in and out, and actually it's pretty solid now in this build. And that's what I was alluding to the end of last week, where things just look and feel so much better. So I mean, apart from the graphics, I can't see what has changed. I did try to find the new vehicle trailers as well, so you know I was looking forward to the tanker trailer, which was meant to be coming out with this patch. I can't find that anywhere, and a couple of you guys have said in the comments you weren't able to find that either, so I'm assuming that as well didn't make it to the patch. So at this stage I'm not entirely sure what is and what isn't in the patch. We'll just have to wait and see what Aerosoft tell me once those patch notes come out. It's a shame really that there is no central place we can go to. I know there is a Facebook group. I'm not on Facebook, so I refuse to go on Facebook, so I can't get to that group. But I think it was actually mentioned in the comments of the last video, so if you're interested in that, just go through those comments and you'll find a link to the Facebook there. There is some discussion. I think Aerosoft are involved in that discussion too, so give that a try. But this is us coming out of Munich, and it looks nice. I said it last time. I said I'd calm down, but I'm still a little bit excited. It is so much different to the previous build. And just watching that car go past reminds me that one of the things that was meant to be in the patch were a lot of improvements to the AI behaviour. I haven't really seen that yet. The coach did try to take us out as we left the depot, so he didn't take us out, but he tried. So we'll see as we go along with this run if we see any improvements. But graphically, that's the biggest thing for me, and it's a really welcome change in my opinion. Some of you guys as well have said to me in the comments that although we're playing on PS5 here, and you know all my videos tend to state we're playing on PS5, I did have some commentary that these graphical improvements are not across all consoles, and certainly PS4 doesn't look anything as good as this. I think that's probably to be expected given the power of the PS5, but I would like to know though, on those generation consoles, Xbox One, PS4, has there been some improvement? I'm assuming there's been some improvement, even if it doesn't look quite like this. It would be a shame if you know those consoles weren't tuned as well, really. So 173 kilometers to Stuttgart. There's been a few things in this patch, just as I've been running it, that don't make sense to me. There's a couple of areas where I've been running down the motorway and the speed has been set to 60. In the HUD down there on the right, the speed limit shows 60. So I've stuck to 60. I've put the cruise on and I've stuck to 60, yet I've seen the AI whizzing past way faster than 60. So I'm just wondering if some of the speed limit signs are actually wrong in the HUD. We've seen in the past, haven't we, that some of the, especially A roads, there's certain A roads, as I'll call them, you'll pass a road sign saying that the speed is 60, but actually in the HUD it's telling you can only do 50. So there's some of that. There's always been some of that. But so that was one bug that I'm assuming is a bug that I found since the patch. The other thing was I did a mission a couple of days ago where I had to drop off some fast food at one of the petrol stations. So if you're playing this game, you'll be familiar with that. Got to the petrol station, followed the sat nav right up until the petrol station itself, went onto the forecourt. There was no target box for me to deliver, so I kind of remembered where the target box has been in the past and went to that, but there was no, let's call it the freight office. We don't have a freight office, I imagine, at a petrol station, but you know what I mean. Everywhere else we've got a freight office where we jump out, we go to the office, we tell them what we're bringing, we open the doors, we drop the cargo off. There was no freight office. There was no marked out area where I needed to park. So what I had to do in that case to move on is just abandon the mission. So obviously for that I lost money, got fined, lost reputation. So that wasn't good. I did make a note of that, and I will report that. Now I don't know if it was that particular fuel station. I think actually it was one of the ones in Munich. It's a mission I did just before this one a couple of days ago. I don't know if it's just the one in Munich or whether that has been replicated with other fuel stations in other cities and towns across the map. I'll try to over the next few days I'll try to set up a couple of those missions and just test it and just see. So the other thing that would be interesting to know is that the patch has took so long to come out. I wonder what the issues were. I wonder why the patch needed to be reworked. I don't know. There must have been some. I think for the platforms to reject the patch, there must be some game-breaking bug that was found once it was submitted. But we don't know. It's all speculation. But right now, there's those couple of bugs that I found. But generally it's been playing okay. I can't tell whether there's any difference to the steering. The steering seems better to me. Now, I know coming down this motorway, for the majority, it's fairly straight, but it seems to hold the line slightly better than it did before on the controller. That could be my wishful thinking, but it's just something I picked up on, pretty straight away. But for all you people that are already playing this, I'd be interested to know what your feedback is. As I said, there's been plenty of comments on the last video, both positive and negative. That's fine. Let's have a chat about the game. That's what we're here for. It's not going to suit everybody, but on the other hand, it could be just what people are looking for. So I always try to respond to everything. So yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Has it made certain improvements to you? There's probably a lot of stuff that I haven't noticed yet that you guys have picked up on. And if you drop those comments below, I'll have a read through those and we'll talk about those next time. So it's a nice morning in between Munich and Stuttgart, coming up to 8 AM, and we've got 118 kilometers to go, so not far, about coming up on halfway. I think the majority of this route is actually motorway, so it's a pretty straightforward run, so we can cover it off pretty quick. It's probably about half an hour, I would say. We're in the cruise right now, so we've got the signs there for Stuttgart, so we're well on the way. So once again, the sat-nav's telling me to stay over to the left here, but you can see in the mirror there's quite a lot of traffic behind me. I don't know whether I'm holding traffic up and whether it's giving me the wrong lane. I always think, and maybe this is because of driving in the UK, I always think I should be over on the right. You're driving something as heavy as this, let everybody sail past me, but I know in Germany, we're on the wrong side of the road compared to UK. Now, it's not the wrong side of the road, because if you live in Germany it's the right side of the road, but you know what I mean, it's different to the UK, so the overtaking rules are probably different. I've never driven in Germany. I've been a passenger in Germany, but I've never driven in Germany, and that was some time ago. But being on this straight and narrow is good, because it gives me a chance to get out of the cab sometimes like this, to really appreciate what's going on. I can keep it fairly straight with the controller from this angle. And again, the sat-nav inexplicably has asked me to move into the middle lane just now. So I shall do that shortly. Don't want to cause any accidents. I'm kind of fine where I am for now, I think, as we've just got under 100 kilometers to Stuttgart. I do like the way that this motorway is tree lined, by the way, and I know that some developers can cover up a lack of distant scenery by putting in a lot of trees and foliage quite close to where the player is. But in this case it works, because you can see here we're quite thin amount of trees right next to the motorway, yet you can see just in the distance it's quite dense. So I quite like the way they've done that. It suits this route, and it suits Germany, doesn't it? It suits the countryside in Germany very well. So we've moved over to the right now, you see, and there's a lot of traffic flowing on the left, which goes to prove that I could have been right with it putting us in the wrong lane. It still wants us in the middle. It still wants us in the middle lane. Is this lane going to end? There is a countdown there. Or is that taking us off to the right? That is the feeder lane, isn't it, for the fuel station? So I'll just come back on. So it was right in that instance. It was just telling us early to get into this lane. But you see, I'm doing 76 here in an 80 zone, and that coach and the vehicles in front of it are obviously doing way faster than that. And you can see this car up the left now coming in. He's coming in at a rate of knots. He must be doing 95, 100 compared to me. I'm going to try and hold it here with the controller at the same speed on this bend. Set of bends here, they're quite short for nearly 80 kilometers per hour. That was a close one. The guy shaved past us and took the paint off. We'll have to go to... Oh, there seems to be a bit of an accident there. That was a strange one. Somebody must have braked in front. Yeah, we'll have to get into the customization area, I think, to sort out the paint job. So it's telling me to stick in the middle. I'll stick in the middle, I think. But you can see how easy it is to clock off the kilometres here once you get the cruise on and you're on the motorway. You know, we've soon gone down from that 200 kilometres down to 47. I'm just speeding slightly because I'm on a downhill. The cruise doesn't hold you at the speed that you actually set it to. It does go up and down depending on the gradient, so you need to keep an eye on that. For now, I'm not going to take the cruise off. I know it'll even out. There you go. But you just need to be aware just in case there's any speeding cameras, because you will get fined if it snaps you. So it's 9 AM. We must be approaching the outskirts of Stuttgart now. Looks as if we can take a right here for one side of Stuttgart. And I don't know in real life how big a city Stuttgart actually is. I think it's fairly large. And some of these, you know, cities in the game have several exits that we can come off to go to these cities. Now, oh, that was a close one. Is this new? Are these bollards on the left? Are they new? It's interesting because those exact bollards, I'm calling them bollards, safety signs. If you've watched any of the road maintenance simulator videos I've been putting up recently, we have been doing jobs there to put those bollards out, the exact same bollards. So we know all about those now. So it's interesting how the two games are sort of interlinked. Different developers, by the way. I have to say that because I know there's been some confusion there about what's in one game and what isn't in another game, comparing the two. Different developers, just the same publisher. Aerosoft are the publisher only. They don't do any development in the games. So there will be differences. But yeah, we know all about those because we've put some of those out. We've cordoned off work areas so we can dig the road up, etc. That's a fun game. If you've not checked those videos out, just have a look at those. There's a playlist for Road Maintenance Simulator, and it's a fun game actually. It's not, you know, it's not an intense game. It's just something you can play when you've got half an hour and do a couple of missions. It's just a bit of fun. It's quite short. I know that some commentators to the videos have already told me they've completed all the missions. I think there's 30 missions in total. But some of the trophies for that, if you're a trophy hunter, require you to do 100 missions. So I'm assuming you'll need to do some repetition of those 30 jobs. But anyway, that's a different game. But check that out. if you've got some time. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. I've certainly enjoyed bringing it to the channel. And whilst we've been talking, the weather has gone from really, really nice to absolutely shocking. So we're arriving at Stuttgart, and Stuttgart is having really bad weather at the moment. So we said this in the last video as well, didn't we, that when the rain starts, the actual lighting changes as well, which is quite interesting. Makes it a lot darker. So we're just proceeding through 12 kilometres till we get to our first stop. And I will just say that in the past couple of weeks my subscriber count has gone up, so thank you to everybody for subscribing, especially all those that are new. Please say hello in the comments. It's always nice to know that you're watching the videos, and you know, if there's anything else that you want to see, let me know. The tower there in Stuttgart as well, which is fairly solid look, scenery wise. Again, no flashing, which is good. So it won't take us long. We've got 11 kilometres, but actually it's just up this road, because we know by now how quickly we can cover off those kilometres. It's not like for like. But it's given us a chance to look at Stuttgart. It's a shame that it is raining actually, because I don't think on stream we've been to Stuttgart before. And you know, I like to show the cities off. It is what it is. We've got to drop this cargo off first. I think we've got a separate delivery somewhere else, so it may improve. Let's just see what happens. We may get to look at it in proper daylight. So our objective is in sight. We can sneak through these lights. This is Brutto, and we like stopping at Brutto because it's fairly easy. Even with the bigger trucks, it's fairly easy. And I say that as I take the corner very wide. I need to watch out for that guy's car. There we go, no problem. So we'll reverse in, get the first set of jobs completed, get the cargo unloaded. Easy does it. If you could see me now, I've got a concentration face on. Any second now. There we go. Let's jump out and go to the freight office. So we've got cat toys and dog food to drop off here. €3,163 for the first one, €7,031 for the second one, so it's not bad, not bad at all. So our next port of call is still in Stuttgart. It's 29.5 kilometres away, so still won't take us too long. I'm just hoping this weather brightens up a little bit. I don't know whether the if the weather is random. So if it starts raining, I don't know if it stays raining for. Okay, I need to be careful. I don't know if it stays raining for a certain length of time, or if it's completely random. You know, does it rain for an hour in time on the hood down there on the right, or not? I don't know. Don't know how they do that. It could be completely random. So there is a chance it'll brighten up. We'll see. So we need to go left at this junction. We've still got 4 hours 42 driving time left before we need to sleep, so we've got plenty of time. It looks like Daniel Stobber has finished his route, so that's good. More money in the bank for us. And that works out quite well, of course, because when we finish this job, I will be able to set him up new jobs. And we can get him underway again. But for today, we'll just finish this job, and then we'll be back soon with some more. But I'm still enjoying this game. I was on when I was playing it on the PS4, I played it for a while to begin with. Then, with all the scenery issues, I kind of let it slide for a little bit. I knew there was a PS5 version coming out. I think it was well advertised, but that was delayed, wasn't it? Several times on both next gen consoles. Actually, it was delayed. I decided to kind of wait until that came out, but actually, you know, it's only a small developer. It's going to have some issues, but I think it's heading in the right direction, essentially. And you can only, you know, you can only sort of go with that, really. It's not a major title. It's not a game that's going to cost you the earth, and it's not a major developer. You haven't got the power of EA or anyone like that, so I'm quite happy to give them some time to refine it. As long as they're still working on it, I think that's the only thing that concerns me. That's the only thing with any game, really. I don't know if I mentioned it in another stream. I made the mistake of pre-ordering Battlefield 2042 because I quite like the Battlefield franchise, and I've played that a heck of a lot less than this, and it's just sat there on the PS5 now doing nothing because it's just terrible in my opinion. And that is EA and DICE. That's you know, they're massive groups of people, aren't they, in the gaming world, and you know, they need to go a long way to get that right. "18 kilometres, getting a lot of traffic lights this way, holding us up, but that's fine. So you can see ahead there's still some very slight flashing problems of distant scenery, but there aren't many places in the game where you can see that far ahead. It's just so much. It's just so much improved since this patch, and that's a really good start. I think it was when we went to Hamburg a couple of videos ago. I think the video is "Hamburg looks so good," and it did look good. There was a Docklands area though that we went to, and there was so much flashing going on there. I might try and go back there and just compare it, just to see what the differences are, because it was pretty bad, and we've got video evidence there on the channel of of how bad it looked in that particular area. So it'd be interesting to just go and do a sort of side by side if we can do that. So if you guys are around the Hamburg area, I think it was Hamburg. It was either Hamburg or Kiel. Trying to remember. But if you guys are around there, just flick the video up and just have a look and just compare it to what you're seeing whilst you're there in real time. And the sun's come out. Look at that. It's just gone from grey to pretty bright in the space of 30 seconds. And the rain has stopped. Now that's pretty good. It didn't do that before. You can see now there's still puddles on the road, but it's gone dry. So we did get to see Stuttgart in the nice weather. So I'm pleased about that. So I think we can turn the lights off now. We don't need those, certainly. And also the wipers. We don't want to wear the wipers out. And there we go. It's lovely now. But we still got the wet patches on the road, which is good. You know, they could have disappeared, of course, but they've stayed. So we've evidence that it has been raining and it's drying up. So I'm pretty pleased with that. And we're pretty much around the corner from where we need to do our last drop off. Oh, somebody's rammed us from behind there. They didn't see the feeder lane. They did my trick. The lane ran out, they carried on. So we got 1% load damage there. Through no fault of our own, we had right away. And this is our objective. The pet shop company. And again, in this type of truck, this is a pretty easy reverse, to be honest. So we'll just swing it in, back it up, do the delivery, and that's us done. Concentration face again. Sometimes you can be further away than you actually think, but we've done it now. Handbrake on, let's jump out, let's go to the freight office and let them know what we're bringing. This is Cat Toys. And that is €6,885. So again, not bad, not a bad little trip. So that's it. That's us all done. Hope you enjoyed that. It was just another quick run, 200-kilometer run there from Munich up to Stuttgart, and we got to have another look at what the game looks like post-patch. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. Look forward to talking to you soon. Take care. Bye for now.